Does practice truly make perfect? Let's see. Hey, welcome back to the channel Guitarists for Christ, where you can learn how to play guitar in church. This is episode 4 of Does Practice Make Perfect? Now again, what I'm seeking to prove is that practice makes perfect, but if you practice mistakes, you're going to get perfect at making mistakes. You need to get in the habits of doing the right thing. This can be an advantage if you haven't practiced in a long time. Then when you come back, you can think about the mistakes you've made and try to fix them. I'll talk about that later more. But in this video, we're going to discuss mainly the memorizing different keys. So the chords in different keys. So we're going to go through a few keys. So what I do is I just memorize just 3 chords and then the minor chord. The 3 chords and then the minor chord. Here's how I remember that. So G, for the key of G, which is known because it has 1 sharp, is G, C, D, and E minor. Now, I remember that like this. G has 2 friends, C and D. And the reason that helps is because in the key of D, there's also G. And in the key of C, there's also G. So G has 2 friends, C and D, and they're together in each other's keys. G, C, D. Now, E minor is like a G. So G, C, D, and E minor. Now, from this, you can just figure it out on the piano for any other key. You can see, okay, so if it's G, then how far down from G is C, how far down from G is D, and you could figure it out really easily for every other key. But we're just going to go over some of the other ones. So now we'll do A, because after G we have A, so G, A, and then B, C, D, but we probably won't do some of them. So for A, the key of A is mainly A, E, and D, and F sharp minor. So A has 2 friends, D and E. Now, the reason that this is helpful also is because D's friend A can also be used sometimes in the key of G. He is the friend of a friend. So G has a friend D, and D has a friend A. This is just an exciting way I used to memorize these things. G's friends are C and D, and D has a friend A. So then sometimes in the key of G, there will be an A. And most of the times right after the A, if it's in the key of G, there's a D. Because A is D's friend, right? So that's how I remember it. Now, for A, there's A, and it has 2 friends, E and D, and then F sharp minor is the minor chord, which is like A. Okay? Now, one way to memorize that is, since G is E minor, right? Then for A, which is 2 up from G, 2 semitones up according to the piano, then 2 semitones up from E minor would be F sharp minor. That's how you remember that. Now, for the key of B, it's fairly difficult, so we'll get back to that one in a later video. For the key of C, C has 2 friends, G and F. Okay? And the minor chord is A minor. So C, G, F, and the minor chord is A minor. Again, remember, C's friend is G. Okay? Now, for the key of D, the main chords are D, A, G, and B minor is the minor chord. So D, A, G, and B minor. Okay? And again, since D's friend is A and G is friends with D, then sometimes in the key of G there will be an A. Sometimes in the key of A there will be a G. It's not quite as common, but it's possible. So that's the key of D is D, A, G, and B minor. Now obviously there are a bunch of chords in the keys, but that's how you remember it. Its closest friends are A and G, and then B minor is the minor chord for D. Right? And this is why B minor sometimes appears in the key of G, because B minor is the minor chord for D. Okay? Now, we're going to skip E and go to F. So for the key of F, it's F, B flat, C, the minor chord is D minor. So for F, F, C, B flat, and the minor chord is D minor. So if you get these memorized in your head, you'll know, okay, that song's in the key of G, which means I'm probably going to have to switch to C's and D's. And then when you're practicing, you practice switching from G to C to D to E minor. I've done a whole video on chord cycles, and you can continue practicing those. That was episode 4 of Does Practice Make Perfect? Continue watching these, and you'll see me in the next episode of Does Practice Make Perfect?